Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to do a series of videos on me making a dress. I have picked a pattern, I have my fabric, and I'm going to walk through all the different stages. Now I've had a few comments of people asking me to make a project from start to end, so this is the video for you. First of all, I have not been paid or sponsored to make this video, so let's get right into it. So I'm going to be sewing dress C of this pattern, and I'll just show you a quick close-up. And this is pattern C we are going to be sewing. It doesn't really have much of a collar, which I'm going to go easy on myself. It has this lovely full skirt. It has a belt that wraps around the middle, which I'm not quite sure if I'm going to make or not, because I might just use a belt from my wardrobe. It's a really cute looking dress, and it's going to be very pretty and very flowy. And I'm going to create it out of a Christmas kind of flannel. It's going to be done out of a Christmas flannel print. I can't even get my words out. It's Christmas right now, or coming up to Christmas, so I thought it would be a really awesome theme to have a nice flowy dress that is sewn by me. So the first thing that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to trace all of my pattern pieces onto this tracing paper that I purchased from an art supply store. And the reason why I do that is because I want to keep this pattern as my master pattern, and then I'm going to use this as my pattern for making up the dress. Generally, whenever I make any clothing, I will make them way too big. So I'm probably going to make this pattern in a size 20, even though it's probably going to be a little bit too big for me. And then I can decide whether I want to remake this pattern into a smaller size, or whether I can sort of fit in the pattern of the garment that I am going to be making. So let's get to tracing the pattern pieces out. Your new sewing pattern will come with two different things. It'll come with your instructions on how to construct the actual dress when it comes to sewing it, and then it comes with all of the pattern pieces you're going to need in order to make or sew this dress. When you open your pattern instructions, it's going to tell you all of the item numbers you're going to need in order to make either dress A, B, C, or D, I think there is on this pattern. So I am going to cut out all the parts it tells me to cut for dress C. So all I do now is anywhere that it says for dress C, which this one does, I am going to follow the lines and literally trace all of the patterns out. I know this takes some time, but it will be beneficial in the long run. Now I'm going to cut out pattern for size 20, so I need to ignore that part. And when you look at the notches at the top, it'll show you the size, and you just copy along all the way. And then I'm going to copy my notches for the size that I want. So when it comes to matching these notches up, they are going to be correct. And any line that is on the pattern, you are going to have to trace, because everything is important on this pattern, so you want to make sure, and try not to move it like I just did. And this is the grain line. So this is the position in which it wants you to face your sewing pattern when it comes to putting it onto your fabric, which I'll explain later. So I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to start tracing all of these sewing patterns And another thing that I'm going to do is write all of the pieces down. So this is number 16, and it's telling me that it's an arm hole and it's a facing piece. And it's for patterns A and C. So any information that's important to this particular pattern, I make sure that I write it on the piece. And then I would cut it out, and I'm just going to continue on doing all the pattern pieces that I need, not to bore you guys. Another good practice, because there are a lot of parts to this dress, is to tick off the part that you've actually done and continue with your next piece. This is all of my pieces all cut up. I'm going to neaten them up so they're all cut along the line, and I will meet you back in a minute. In order for me to make this dress, it's required me to cut out 14 different pieces. So that's another thing for you to bear in mind. When you're shopping for a sewing pattern, have a look how many pieces you actually have to cut out, because 14 is quite a lot. And I found myself getting quite bored when I was like tracing around the tracing paper and getting ready to cut out my fabric. So this is video number 1 of how to cut out a pattern piece. So we have literally just traced around the pattern, and I have cut out all of my pieces ready for the next stage, which is putting them onto fabric and cutting them pieces out. So join me next week for that stage. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next video. Bye guys.